Welcome to our podcast, Learn Biblical Greek, brought to you by Dr. William Stewart, the co-founder of Teleios. This captivating podcast teaches you biblical Greek through a verse-by-verse study of the book of Ephesians, interjecting Greek grammar, Greek word meanings, and vital theology concepts. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey. Your study will be more effective if you use the Greek text with the Bible word codes, either on the eSword download or Bible Hub website. These links are on our podcast website at www.teliosresearch.com.
Hi, I'm William Stewart, co-founder of Teleios. Welcome back to our podcast on learning biblical Greek. I'm glad you're here. We're having a great time in the book of Ephesians, learning some theology all about God and Christ. We're learning Greek in the text itself, slowly but surely. As always, I implore patience as we work through these aspects of the biblical Greek, which will become clear over time. Patience. Again, Greek is important because it helps us to build competence and confidence in our knowledge of Scripture so we can better know God and serve Him. We're in verse 10 of this great passage in chapter 1 of Ephesians. So get out your New Testament Greek, whatever source you have, hopefully with the codes to help you with parsing and declension. Let's get going. East, the preposition, remember, into, towards, which takes the accusative in the following noun, and indeed it does, ekonomian, A-N, that's the feminine accusative singular ending, the A-N. Now this is a great word, ekonomia. It means dispensation. Hard word coming from the Latin. Jerome's, the great bishop of Rome, his translation of the Bible back around 400 AD. The Latin translation is important, not so much related to the Catholic Church, but because he translated it with a knowledge of Greek into Latin closer to the time of the actual writing of the New Testament. So as opposed to more modern versions, it might have some hints on translation and word use, though it's not perfect, so one has to use judgment and be careful. In the Greek, ekonomia means house law, so it reflects a administrator of a family compound, so who administrates the family compound for this family, and it's where we get the word economy. Go figure. So, and it's important because it tells us that in the time of the church, in this time, God administrates his people through the church. And he administrates his people in different ways at different times. Now, this is a controversial topic, though I think most people could agree that he administered the Jews in the Old Testament. Adam and Eve, Noah, differently from each other, though importantly, salvation is always by grace. So at this time, he administrates us through the church. Next word, T-O-U. So this is an article with the genitive, masculine or neuter, singular ending, pleromatos. Okay, a little tricky. Comes from the word pleroma. It's the root word is pleromat, so the root word ends in a T. Okay, so the genitive then, the OS ending, is added on to that to give the genitive, pleromatos. So the OS differs from the TOU of the noun, so that gives you the hint that it's that third declension ending, so often used for root words that end in a T. Pleroma is an important word. It's used a lot. It means it's fullness. It's not a word we typically use a lot in English, except maybe for a full glass of water or something similar. But it had an abstract meaning in the epistles. So remember, the epistles are important because those are the letters to the church. It's what we obey. It's one reason we're doing Ephesians. So it explains salvation in detail and our Christian life. So the epistles are from these are the apostolic letters from Romans to Revelation 3. So in the epistles, pleroma often means mature or complete. So if you see full, think mature or complete. Last two words for today, tone, chiron. So you see the matching omega N. As you know, this is a genitive, plural ending for each gender. Okay, neuter masculine or feminine. Chiron is kairos in the nominative, times. So it's an indistinct period of time. It differs from the word chronos, where we get the word chronometer, like a watch, a distinct period of time. Kairos in the plural in the epistles typically means either end times or the church times plus the end times. And you have to determine it by context. Here, this phrase, we know that God had his own purpose. He revealed this mystery to his own purpose in himself in verse 10, into the management of the fullness of time. So I think in context, you can see it's talking about the end times, and I think we'll see that more clearly on the next video. Okay, good stuff. Thank you for joining me today. We'll finish this verse, I hope, maybe not, in the next video or the next two videos. Starting next time, I'll see you then.